welcome to Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. You'll experience bloopers, outtakes, surprises, and all the laughter in between. Intermissions is unscripted, unfiltered, and undeniably Florenza. So put your hands together to welcome today's guest to the show.
Thank you so much, Sally, for joining me on this episode of On the Air with Florenza, where in just a few minutes, we are going to talk about your latest release, A Case of Mice and Murder. And I need to fix that because it looks like I'm backwards on my side. But before we get started, we are going to toast to an amazing show. So I have believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is just cranberry juice. So
Well, and mine's water.
wonderful. We're cheers.
Well, cheers to the show.
So we are going to, before we get into all the information about who you are and your amazing book, we're going to do a little segment that I will pull out for a show that I call Intermissions. And essentially, it's some true or false questions that I have for you. Now, I don't know the answers, and I have been really doing poorly with guessing. Maybe I need to start cheating and finding the answers because the last few interviews, I've gotten them all wrong. But so, true or false? The Inner Temple's library forbade fiction until 1905. I'm going to say, I figured they would forbid fiction, but 1905 sounds specific. So I'm going to say false.
I think you're right. I think that's false.
Okay. Now, do you happen to know the year?
I don't. I'm not. The answer to that is I'm not sure they ever actually forbade it. I mean, they didn't have a very big fiction section, but I can think of books they've got which certainly predate novels that they've got which predate 1905.
Okay. All right. So I got that one right, but for the wrong reasons, but it's still right. Okay.
Yes, it's right.
True or false? As a KC, you once wore your wig to the dry cleaners accidentally. Oh my gosh, if that is not true, it would make a great line in a book. I'm going to say true.
Well, it's half true. I actually wore it to stand in the line for a sandwich in the coffee bar opposite the law courts.
Nice. Now, what was your reaction when you realized that it was still on?
Well, they're so light that I didn't realize, and I met someone I knew who pointed it out to me, said, "Do you know you're still wearing your wig?"
Oh, really? They're light?
I felt very silly and took it off.
They look like they should be so heavy.
Yeah, they're made of horsehair, but they've got a kind of a sort of netting underneath, so actually they breathe. They're remarkably light.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So, true or false? The children's book, Millie the Church Mouse, is based on a real drawing from an Inner Temple archive. Ooh, I'm going to go on a limb and say true.
No, you're wrong on that one. That's false. Sorry.
Okay. True or false? You write your first drafts by hand with a fountain pen before typing. Oh, Lord, that would be messy. I'm going to say false, but if you do, that's remarkable.
Well, there again, it's kind of half true. I don't use a fountain pen. I use a felt tip, and I don't write. I mainly write on a laptop, but sometimes I'll do a section in my own hand and then transfer it onto a laptop.
Okay, and our last
you can have
one,
that as a half truth.
and the last one. You once had a mouse in your chambers that inspired the mouse subplot. Mice get all over. So that could be true. So I'm going to say false. No, okay, true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wonderful. So I didn't do so bad this time.
No, you did very well.
Oh, side note, if ever you're looking for like a real side hustle,
Uh-huh.
you should really consider being a voiceover character for like children's cartoons or children's movies. I think you have an amazing voice for, I was thinking of like as you were speaking, I just saw like this either a teacher or a librarian or
Oh dear.
something kind of voice going. You have such a great voice.
My husband's grandchildren always say I sound like Grandma Pig in the Peppa Pig cartoons.
If ever
So
I
on
write
audition.
if ever I write a book that needs your voice, I am going to ask for you to do the reading because I absolutely love your voice.
Thank you. That's very kind. I'll be delighted.
I've been trying to think of more questions. I'm like, I don't want Sally to go.
Oh no, that's sweet of you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Lorenza. Bye.
And this wraps up our episode of Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. Be sure to check out the full interview for this author as well as others on Florenza's podcast, On the Air with Florenza. And until next time, cheers.